Hello, my name is Antwan Blahnik. If you see me on the street, you can call me Twan Blahnik, you can call me Twan or Megabody. And here's an outpour of my story. So my coming out story, I was in high school and I had gotten in trouble and my father jacked me up and he asked me if I was gay. And I was scared, nervous, and I told him I didn't know if I was gay or not. And I thought it was gonna be worse, but it was actually not that bad. He told me that he loved me and we really didn't talk about it much after that. When I got in college, I was a junior, I believe. My mother came to visit and she had cooked a lot of breakfast and stuff. And I remember coming home and washing the dishes. And while I was washing the dishes, my back was to her. She was behind me and she started asking some questions and there was a buildup. And I said to myself, if she asked me the question, I was just gonna tell her. So she eventually got around to the question and she asked if I was gay, and I told her yes. It was over pretty quickly. She told me she loved me, and as long as I kept my relationship with God, that. So going to FAM and seeing people that look like me, that act like me, it definitely made me feel more comfortable. And there was always someone in a decent position that I kind of found out was gay. So it made me feel more comfortable with myself. And then the arts, they had dancing that people were really, really serious about, and modeling and making clothes. So in all of those areas, they were led by people that were gay. So it made me kind of feel more and more comfortable. Coming from a small town, I didn't have a lot of positive, or what I thought was positive images of black gay men that I could relate to. So I discovered the ballroom scene when I was in college. At the time, I was modeling and I was junior class president. And I met a group of guys from my modeling troupe, or some of them were in my modeling troupe, but they would have small balls at their houses and they would do like shows and female impersonating shows or whatever, but it was more of a comedy. And I remember after one of the balls, one of the guys came up to me and he said, "Hey man, you should walk from my house." The name of the house, it was like in the Kiki scene, it was called the House of Jimmy Choo. And he said, "You should walk Sex Siren for my house." So I was really, really nervous about doing it because I still wasn't really out. If in my head, I wasn't really out. So I went to my first ball and they got me to walk. It was at a club. I think the name of the club was 1090. And I walked and I won. I became father of Jimmy Choo. And I really did not know what being a father was, but I got through it. Coached a couple of people through, brought a couple of members in. Then I moved to Atlanta in 2008, and I came to my first ball, I believe it was Labor Day weekend 2008, to become a member of Mugler. And I remember him inviting me to the ball. And when I got there, I was nervous. I had never been to a mainstream ball before. And he met me at the door, walked me over to the Mugler table or area, and he just kind of started introducing me to different people. And I don't remember a lot of the people that I met that night, but I do remember I met Stasha Sanchez Mugler. And it was a busy night. She didn't really, we didn't talk much, but I remember being in awe of her beauty and just kind of not really getting the response I wanted, I guess because it was actually at a ball. And so it got me to thinking, do I really want to be a part of the ballroom scene? Is this something I want to put energy into? Because I was starting a new chapter after college, so I didn't know if that was something I really, really wanted to be a part of after that night. But I liked the talent that I saw. I saw people like Exotic Mugler walking that night and fell in love with the talent of displaying face. But still, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a part of it. So I went home and really didn't really think about it much anymore until maybe close to November or December. I was having a conversation with Camaro, who was Father Atlanta of the House of Blahnik. And at the time, I did not know that he was involved in Ballroom because I had been knowing him for years, traveling back and forth from Atlanta, from Tallahassee to Atlanta. And he basically said that I should come and walk for his house. And I asked him more questions about the house, and he kind of sold me on that I would be a good fit for the house. So I walked my first ball in 2009 at the beginning of the year, and I remember I made it to final battle with, at the time, Atlanta Mugler father. I can't really remember his name right now, but I remember we made it to final battle and he beat me by 1 point, which wasn't bad for me because he had been doing it a lot longer than me. But I remember the response I got from the Blahniks, just how upset they were that I didn't win. I remember Lady Blahnik yelling, at the judges, basically saying, what the fuck are y'all, looking at? He's definitely, the grand prize winner. And that energy really, really made me want to be a part and stay and walk. That opened the door to me really wanting to be a part of Ballroom, just the support and the love that I got. That night, I saw the family aspect of Ballroom. So the time I lost in my category, and I think I should have won, Sex Siren is the category that I walk. I was walking against a guy. He was an out-of-stater from out of town, and we both of us made it to final battle, and I felt like he won over me because he shook his ass a lot, and that's just not something at the time I was doing or willing to do. But I'm always a good sport. I remember giving him a hug. As far as a time that I won where the competition was great, I think a lot of balls, the competition was great. There are a lot of people that I see up and coming or that are before me that just have amazing talent, from being on the floor with Milan Christopher or Elliot Milan, or a lot of guys that I have been, walked against and kind of understood why they are who they are in the scene, just looking at their aesthetics and looking at the way they command attention within their categories that they walk. How do you get better at Sex Siren? I think, honestly, it's something inside that you have to possess. Yes, you can work out. Yes, you can practice the way you sell. Yes, you can make your looks better as far as whatever the category calls for. But I think overall it's something that you have to possess. I think I was born a sex siren and I didn't even know it. And people within social media, or whether it was modeling or the ballroom scene, kind of put me in this place. And one day I kind of realized that I had this thing, and then it made me work harder. But I definitely think that it's something that you have to possess. Body is one of those categories that you can work out and kind of get the basis of it, but it's still something in you that you have to have. I think I always tell people whenever they're walking ballroom, in general, we can teach you almost anything, but confidence is one of those things you just kind of have to have inside. And sometimes it comes from the crowd, but mainly it definitely needs to come from inside. So some of the my experiences dealing with the preconceived notions of being a sex siren. I think for me, I am one of the fortunate ones. I have had some very successful relationships with some amazing people, but I do hear some of the things. I think people think because we take off our clothes to compete that we are almost less than, that we may be whores or promiscuous. And that's definitely not true for all sex sirens. Some people just love their bodies and they know that it's a talent to be able to display it and show it off to the people, because it takes confidence to do that. It takes a lot to do that in front of a room full of people and know that you have insecurities and still be able to push for it. But yeah, it's definitely hard. I'm 38, and most people don't know that. Because I'm still walking sex siren. Listen,
yeah, you're 38 walking sex siren. Goddamn.
Staying relevant in ballroom and in your category. I think, you just you be honest with yourself. You being honest with yourself. I know that I won't be walking sex siren forever. But what I've done is try to reinvent myself in different categories. I also walk body, I walk all American, and I've been playing in best dressed. So just transitioning and reinventing yourself to be able to walk other categories. And even if you step back away from your scene, you'll still have that legacy. You can always invest in the children of the house, in the house, out of the house. Just investing in the ballroom community will help you stay relevant and, being a part, still putting in what you got out from the ballroom scene. So what does leadership look like now versus when the House of Blahnik first started in 2000? I think I'm a combination between Jay Blahnik and Kamara Blahnik. I think Jay Blahnik was almost the extreme of things going a particular way. We had a lot of mandatory balls. Things were very strict in a sense, which was okay for me because I dealt with that coming from FAM in the organizations that I was in there. Camaro was a little more understanding and lenient, but still strict. But with me, I am in between that. But Camaro's still very active and around. So when I'm that extreme or I'm saying no, Camaro's like, well, just think about this other side, which keeps me in the middle of the both of them. If I could go back and talk to young Antwan Blahnik, I would definitely encourage him to trust himself more, be more resilient, and basically have tough skin when it comes to ballroom. There was a point in my ballroom career that I decided that I wasn't gonna walk anymore. And it was not because I was losing categories or anything like that. Just to be clear. But my categories, what I tried to always do was go above and beyond, do more than what the category actually called for. I would always try to invest more and put my all into it. And so I would travel from New York, DC, Chicago. I would go to all these different places and they would not get to my category. Sex siren and bodies for most of the time used to be at the end of the ball. So anything could happen. They could fight at the ball, they could not have enough time, the ball could start late, not have enough time to finish. And they would always kind of say, oh, well, we're having an aftermath or we're having a mini ball tomorrow, come to finish that category. And I would be like, well, I invested this time, this money to come tonight, I'm not coming tomorrow. And after that happening quite a few times of traveling and not getting the recognition, not even getting a chance to walk and display my talent, I decided that I wasn't gonna walk again. And then Jay Blahnik called me one day and he said that the House of Blahnik they implemented a new program where the icons and the legends adopted a particular person to invest in And I think each of them had like 5 or 10 people from the house. And he said that you are one of mine. So to get a call from the iconic Jay Blahnik and him saying that I was one of his picks to invest in, I immediately like changed my mindset on walking. And I said, okay, if Jay believes in me this much to give me a call and to spend this time investing in me, that I would just take it to the next level. So I jumped back in the game and, dust my boots off, and I started giving 110%. And the little break that I took really didn't hurt me at all. When I came back, it was like I was well received, like I was winning left and right. Some of the times it was just amazing, the feeling of coming back and getting my ideas. They were perceived well on the floor, me doing such an amazing job. It was overwhelming. I am the legendary Antwan Blahnik, the sex siren, mega body. This is my story and I'm sticking to it.